5.
Oh,
Bingo, bango, bosh.
Ding, dang, dong.
Sipping from a puffin.
Up your chuff. Can we see how Nikki sounds?
Oh, why, thank you. When one speaks... Well,
Yeah, but let's face it. We're not about the masses. We're about quality.
They were all his mother.
Your mother.
Oh, bless. So I'm still wearing glasses today.
Mm-hmm.
What did your optician say?
He said, come back tomorrow because you're
He said you didn't read the letter properly,
Yeah,
Mr.
You didn't
Mr.
see what I sent you.
because I need contact
You
lenses.
need contact
I didn't
lenses.
read the text properly and I turned up a day early. So anyway, so next week I won't have glasses. I'll have contact lenses, which is going to be very exciting.
Very exciting.
Except I am going to get...
I might wear 2 sets of glasses
Oh, yeah.
just to make up for
I
the
have a
lack
spare
of.
pair.
I don't know how I feel about you not wearing glasses.
Well, I might get the window glass thing. You know when you just put plain glass in a pair of glasses? Because I'm so used to these now, which I really like. And also we've kind of put me on the Popcorn Pundits.
We can always edit the glasses out.
Yeah.
We could do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just rub your face out.
Yeah.
Should we kick things off?
Very rude.
Over to you, Peter McPete, for the Popcorn Pundit intro, please. Popcorn Pundits.
Podcast, and we are the Popcorn Pundits.
We are the
podcast.
Popcorn
As of this week, everything is changed and formalised. So yeah, here we are.
Can
Today's
I hear
date-
music in the background?
No, it's a buzzing like someone's drilling or something.
Oh.
It's like there's a dentist downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure it was the opticians, not the dentist you were meant to?
Yeah. Anyway,
So
there
Haunted
we go.
Dentist. No, that's a different film.
This is your Popcorn Pundits. This is week 14. We are introducing new films. I'm James Michael Moore-Crone.
I'm Peter James Ungar.
And you are?
Nikki!
Nikki with a louder voice. Thank goodness for that.
Thanks to
Eventually.
James and Peter's technical
We've
skills.
took her out of the loft and brought her downstairs.
So we have
No more
been,
franking for you.
No more
we have been
cobwebs.
trying to improve our technology, haven't we? So
Slowly but
we
surely.
believe that the sound quality today should be vastly superior to what we've had in previous weeks.
You
It
mean
should
James
be.
isn't going to interrupt?
I don't think it has that much, I don't think there's that much technology involved in it. And it has taken us about 85 minutes to get this thing
It
set up,
has.
so if we kind of fall asleep halfway through, apologise about that. But
And are we going to keep it under the hour still?
Definitely.
I don't think there's any chance of being under 60 minutes today. I've watched a lot of film this week. I've watched a lot of film this week, and it's your fault.
So, should we just quickly go through the format for any new listeners or any new viewers? Welcome to the viewing of us, all three of us.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Senpai.
This is Popcorn Pundit. This is week 14. We are here to inform you about what's going on at the cinema and also to ensure that you're not missing out anything at home for streaming. Now, what we try to do is we take... I like to think, in certain cases, as weeks go on,
You take
what's
the mother load.
going to happen is we're going to be taking it for some people, quite frankly, because let's face it, there are going to be some films where we just go, do not watch that film, because we have watched it for you and you don't need to
Yes.
watch it.
Take one for
However,
the
we
team.
haven't come across that many films that we...
I have.
He watched Swim Fan.
You did watch Spin Fan, that's right. So if you'd like us to review a film that's been streaming recently, let us know. And if you've got any comments about our podcast generally, or even about the quality of our sound,
Yes.
And
So we tend to watch and review either a pre-release
That's
or the newly released films of the week.
sometimes unreleased films.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant by pre-released.
Yes.
But it's and then weekly, James Michael Mulcrone
Yes.
will set me usually and hopefully one piece of homework a week. And then I will give my verdict on that, and we'll have
Yes.
a little conflab about
We
what we
will.
thought about that film. We do a little bit of the top 10 at the
We do.
beginning,
Yep.
and and then you set me new homework.
And I'm also going to do a recommendation as well, but I'd like to introduce something next week. I'd like to suggest that each one of us recommend a film
Okay,
for our viewers
Okay.
at the end.
okay.
So I've given you homework, but then at the end, we each of us recommend a film
And-
that perhaps the viewers...
And what film, kind of, what type of film are we
Doesn't
going to
matter.
recommend?
One you can watch.
Could be a new one, could be an old one. It's something you watch at home.
A home view.
Because I'm very aware that
Home
there,
comfort.
one of the biggest questions that I get when people realise what we do and realise how much effort we put into to watch as many films as possible, that a lot of people say, but there's nothing to watch at home. What do I watch? And then I say, what? And then you have to gauge it by what sort of person you're talking to. My father was talking to me today, and he said, I'm thinking about going to the cinema tonight. I've got these Poor Things. Should I? Whatever you do not watch Poor Things.
So I recommended it to my parents just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
I can't imagine my mum
The love of a
watching
son,
that.
eh?
To be
There's
totally honest with
two
you.
examples of the love of two
Furious
good sons.
jumping.
But I did recommend one of your homeworks to somebody today. I recommended Marcel the Shell with Shoes.
Oh, did you?
I did. It was
That is a lovely film to recommend to anybody.
It really is, and actually they'd actually seen the shorts
Ah.
when they came out, so they
Good.
knew what I was talking about.
Good. Oh, well, that's nice. So that's in the community of film
Yeah, it
watchers.
was really good. Really good. I enjoyed that recommendation.
Good.
Should we kick things off now? with
Yes,
this
indeed.
bit,
Shall we do the
quickly?
top 10? Peter, would you like to introduce the top 10 in the charts in the UK of January 2024, please?
I had to change that to Sharpie because the
I
website
noticed,
still
yeah.
hasn't got
It
it right.
actually isn't January when this recording comes out.
It's Thursday, the 1st of February.
Happy
is.
New Month!
Happy New Month for you, Nicky. Number 10 is The Beekeeper.
Yes, The
You've seen
Beekeeper.
it? I haven't seen
Yes.
it.
Go and watch it. I mean, if you like John Wick movies and you like Jason Statham killing people, watch
The
it.
way you described it sounded really John Wick last week.
Very much so.
That was the reference which I wanted to say last week and I forgot. So I'm
Definitely.
really happy that you
Yep.
said that straight away. Number 9 is One Life, which is a really beautiful film, but you can now wait till it comes on to streaming and
Try it at home.
watch it at home. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. You do need to watch it.
Number 8 is The Colour Purple, spelled COLOR. And
American.
American.
I was going to say, you're talking to two dyslexics.
James just looks so confused at me because I spelt really quickly. I'm really sorry. I'll do it in sign language next week. I really quite
Please
fancy going to
do.
see this. I think it looks quite good.
I've heard very mixed reviews about it.
Yeah,
Me too.
absolutely. And I'm not a musical fan, but I do quite fancy it. Number 7 is Fighter. Number 6 is The Holdovers, which we are.
Fighter.
Yeah, so this is a foreign language film,
Oh.
which
Okay,
I haven't. You
I'm
going to go?
getting into the foreign language movies. I love them. Carry
Okay,
on.
cool. Okay. Number 6 is The Holdovers, which
Cannot wait.
we're super excited to go and see this week. Number 5 is Poor Things, which was our last week's review, which we both absolutely loved, didn't we? Thought it was anyone.
Twice I've seen it at the cinema so far.
Have you? Oh yeah, I want to go back and watch it again. Actually, I must admit it was.
It is, do you have to say, for the second time, you spot loads of beautiful things in it the second time round. Yes.
Number 4, Anyone But You, which we haven't seen. I don't think we're going to go into
Any
it.
film but that.
Any film but that. Number 3 is Wonka. It's still really high up there. It's
Yeah.
still really, really popular. It's brilliant. Number 2 is this week's main review film, which is All of Us Strangers.
Yes.
Which we're going to talk about in a few seconds.
We
time.
will.
And number 1 is Mean Girls, which is the adaptation from the musical stage play,
Yes.
which is absolutely smashing it.
I think it's a remake of a late 1990s, early 2000s film as well. It's already been a film.
Correct. I knew that.
I didn't know that.
Did you not know that?
No.
Oh, right, okay.
Fighter is a 2024 Indian Hindi language action film, and the main character fulfills his lifelong dream and becomes a member of the Indian Air Force. As he faces rigorous challenges, he must rise above his own limitations to become a true hero.
Do you have to say, their production level is
It's incredible.
absolutely incredible. They are so tight. So tight. What comes out of that part of the world, it's a filmmaking.
As in the volume of films?
No, it's not the
quality.
volume. I know they do a lot
Quality
of
films.
but
Because basically every Sunday when we go to the cinema,
Yeah, there's always-
a new release pretty
but
much out.
the quality of the production is incredible. You know, any fight scenes are like the cleanest, most sharpest, most well-produced fight scenes you've ever seen. I'm sure John Wick and everybody else just looks at it and goes, making notes of all these fight scenes.
So when I was walking back to the car park after we watched All of Us Strangers,
Yes.
there was a couple of guys
Were you
walking
alone?
behind me. I was, yeah, I was. And there was a couple of guys who'd seen Fighter
Yes.
talking behind it, and they absolutely loved it.
Really?
So maybe we should do it on a Sunday. Maybe
Why
we should
not?
go and go
As
and
long
see
as it's dubbed, because I haven't got enough time to learn the language.
it. Well, also, I mean, your reading's rubbish. So,
Not too bad with subtitle movies. I quite like a good subtitle movie.
there we go.
Weird, isn't it?
Choose
Okay,
the next
So
week.
that is this week's top 10.
Yes, absolutely.
Have we missed the papas, by the way? I just realised that.
No, I did the papas.
Okay.
He's
right
on
at
the
very
papas already.
beginning.
Okay,
He's
carry
on
on.
the papas.
I thought it was
So
one of the
that's-
best papas
We were
that I've done,
practicing on the
actually.
mic so much that I forgot
Yeah.
the papa.
So that's stage
James
one.
did- James
That's your
didn't
top
join
10.
in, which
He
is
never does.
Actually, I do sometimes. It all depends on whimsical like that.
righty-ho.
So we are now going to be reviewing the main film of the week, which is The Last of Us. And then we're going to go on to Pete's homework, which was Triangle. You got your notes there? And
Sorry, what are we going to review, James?
All of Us Strangers.
Excellent, perfect. You got it right that time. Fantastic.
What did I say first?
You said The
The Last of Us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a television series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That draws me in, doesn't it? If you notice that. So,
Did you know anything
Stop.
about this film before we went to see it?
I knew, as per usual, all I knew was who was starring it, which was Andrew Scott.
Yeah.
And that's all I knew. I knew there was 80s music in it because of the advert. What I loved about the advert was the advert gives nothing away at all. And I actually fell into a little bit of a rabbit hole by people talking about the film, and I was like, no, I don't want to watch it, and I couldn't help myself reading it. And apparently, one of the reviews I'm reading on it, but somebody else had walked out of the movie because they felt that the trailer was misleading. I disagree with that completely.
Okay, so you've been going to the cinema a lot for years.
Yes.
And you live in Maidenhead, and go to the cinema in Maidenhead.
Yes.
And now you know how many minutes it takes you to leave your house
Yes.
and get into your seat in the cinema
Yes.
and start watching a film, bang on the film starting.
So when the film says it starts at 4:30,
Yes.
I leave my house at 4:30.
Okay, so did you see the trailer for Vanya before this film?
Vanya.
Which is a National Theatre Live performance.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so it's an Andrew Scott
One-man show, isn't it?
one-man show performance.
Yes.
Which is a trailer for All of Us Strangers.
It's funny you say that. Can I just interrupt you just really quickly?
Of course you can.
In reference to... Sorry, Mum. In reference to... I do love you.
Sorry, Mummy Peter.
I've never met you, but you sound amazing. And I'm rubbing my leg while I'm saying that. Anyway, so I was at our favourite yoga tutors today, and Ellie turned around to me and said, I would really like to see this Andrew Scott play.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing. He plays all the characters, but doesn't change dialect, doesn't change his accent. He just literally does it through the power of acting.
And the trailer is mesmerising.
It is.
Absolutely incredible. And like knowing that Andrew Scott is going to be in a film that
Yes.
you're about to watch, when that's a trailer before the film even starts.
It's a great warm-up, isn't it?
It just gave me goosebumps,
Yeah.
and I would
The
definitely
tears
be
coming to his
It's
eyes and
incredible.
everything. It was really
You
beautiful.
know that you're going to be watching a piece by someone who is an incredible actor.
Yeah. I mean, now we have to make a decision whether we actually go and see the play live, or do we watch it streaming at the cinema. I think we should watch it streaming at the cinema.
But then is it like the concerts and it's not technically a film?
I also don't think it's on anymore.
Really?
I think that's it done.
Do you think it's streaming now, though?
Yeah, it's street. Yeah, so it comes into cinema in February.
Oh, well, we'll keep people posted on that.
Absolutely. Anyway, so sorry about my little interruption.
No,
but it is one of
I'm
the
up for
best
that.
trailers pre-film to get you excited about a film ever. So get to the cinema early.
Yes, good. So, All of Us Strangers.
Yeah.
I think it is a perfectly named film. It's very rare that I find that this is a perfectly named film. I feel that. So really quickly, just to smash through the storyline. Andrew Scott plays an author of a book. He's an author.
Yeah, he's a screenplay.
He's a screenplay writer.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yes, exactly. And he lives in a London tower block.
Yeah,
With some fantastic views of London.
but which is
Little bit-
weirdly desolate, isn't it? So-
very quiet, almost overly quiet
Yeah.
to the point. And it's very still, yeah, and poetic, and the light shining off things is beautiful. Anyway, so he's living by himself in this flat, in this very, very tall, and you felt like you noticed when it filmed, it felt like the building got taller and taller and taller. The more it's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Yeah.
A fire alarm goes off. He then is spotted and spots another cohabitor of the tower block. They look at each other. They sort of look at each other from a distance, and then he goes in, and then out of nowhere, this chap just turns up and knocks on his door.
Straight after.
Literally.
Once they go back in.
Literally straight after.
Yeah.
He's obviously had a drink. He's obviously a little bit on edge. This chap knocking on Andrew's door. He's a chap plays called Harry.
Yeah.
And
that's Paul Mescal from Normal Life,
Yeah.
Normal People.
and there's obviously some chemistry going on there, but you're not quite sure whether it was fear or sexual or whatever. There's a little bit of sort of psychologically sort of. Andrew Scott is obviously a very lonely person, and he's obviously a very sort of loner person. And this chap's obviously knocking on his door, going, "Hi, how you doing?" And it's obviously a little bit imposing when somebody comes knocking on your door. And then the film continues where you realise that Andrew Scott's character, his parents died a while ago, and that's brought up straight away in the movie. But he seems to have this fantastic connection with them. He's actually he's communicating with them from a modern Andrew Scott point of view to his parents in the 80s.
So he was 12 years old
That's right.
when his parents died in a car accident, and he starts. He's writing a story about his life.
That's right.
And he goes back to Dorking, where he grew up.
Yep.
And he visits his family home, and by this visitation, he is able to meet his parents.
That's right.
But his parents are still the same age as when he was 12. However, he is now 40 years old.
Yeah. So they're technically younger than he is.
They're the same age as...
Yeah,
as
approximately. Yeah,
absolutely.
and that's so his father's played by Jamie Bell, and his mother's played by Claire Foy.
Yeah.
And both of them are incredible.
Like, incredible.
Aren't they?
I mean, because there's only 4 characters really in this
There's
film.
literally only 4 characters in this movie. So you immediately get over the fact... I mean, I immediately got over the fact, very, very quickly, the fact that you got Andrew Scott as a 40-something-year-old talking to his parents who died at least 30 years ago, and they're 40-ish as well, but they're talking to him as if he's a child.
In some aspects they are.
Yes, but they're also saying how big you've grown.
Yeah, exactly. So they're acknowledging his current age, but they're still treating him like he's
child.
their son
Yeah.
and their child, but not the same as if he was 12 years old.
Yeah. So he's visited his parents. He's had a communication with them. You as a viewer have witnessed that, and you're trying to get your head around that. But by the time that happens, he's already gone back to London to his flat in London.
Yeah.
And then he starts having a relationship with this Harry chap
Yes.
from the Tower Block, and it's a very intense relationship. It's very, very physical, very intense.
Well, all of the relationships in this film are really quite intense, aren't
Yes,
they?
particularly with his mother as well.
With his mother, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
His father's a little bit more distant, I think.
Yeah, and
Until the
actually more laid back as well.
Very much so.
Because I thought the way this film. So basically, Andrew Scott's character Adam basically has to kind of explain to his parents what modern life is like.
Yes.
And has to break the news to his parents that he's a homosexual.
That's right.
And obviously the difference in being a homosexual and having a homosexual lifestyle nowadays is considerably different from when it was in the 80s.
That's
So
right.
she was asking about AIDS and she's asking about whether he's
Lonely or...
bullied for it
That's
and
right,
all these
yeah.
type of things. And it's a really beautiful it's a really beautiful interaction, isn't
mean-
it? Even though she's not actually hugely accepting
No.
of that, and
No.
actually, her being less accepting than Jamie Bell was, I thought was quite a refreshing take on that kind of.
Yeah.
Or, the parents not liking the fact that the child is homosexual.
Do you want to hear my take on that?
Yes, please.
Okay. My take on that is, obviously his parents are dead.
Yes.
And obviously he is, for me personally, what he's doing is he is projecting how he would feel his parents would feel about him.
Yes.
If that makes any sense at all.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what he's doing is he's very aware that his parents didn't know he was gay when he was 12 years old. Whether he thought he was gay then or not, he obviously didn't explain it or even have that there wasn't that level of communication when you're 12 years
absolutely.
old.
And yes.
So when he goes back to see his parents, obviously, and that conversation comes up, because obviously she brings the conversation about have you got a boyfriend, have you got a girlfriend, and that's how the conversation comes up. I personally feel, because they're obviously not there. There's obviously a thing, and you're not quite sure where they've come from or why they're there, but it's obvious that they're not there, if that makes any sense. And my take on this is that he's projecting his fear of their acceptance of how they would have accepted him if they were still alive.
100%. So I need to put a little bit of a warning out here, because
Yes.
when we reviewed One Life,
Yes.
it got a little bit, my description of it got a little bit emotional, and a few people contacted me after we
Did
reviewed
they?
it to ask me if I was okay, because apparently I came across quite upset on the podcast.
I thought you came across as sincere.
Yeah, I thought I did too, and I
Yeah.
explained, and I was absolutely fine, but it was a really emotional film.
Of course.
Now, we're going to talk about this bit of the film, and I think these people are probably going to contact me again. I'm okay, everyone. I'm
Okay.
absolutely fine.
Right.
Because this is basically the relationship between a child and his parents that have passed away,
That's right.
and him not accepting the fact that his parents have passed away, and him wishing and wanting to have maintained that relationship
That's
the
right.
whole way through his life.
Yeah.
He's a very, very lonely person, and he basically wishes that relationship was still there. And then as we get older in life and our parents get older or our grandparents pass away, there is that wish and that want that you want to tell them about the things that have happened in your life.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of that in
Yeah,
this
100%.
film. It's that beautiful. Is it better to have these people in your life that you can tell them about it, or should you be part of your history, or should your history be your history? And that's the kind of the relationship that I saw between him and his parents.
I can't disagree with that at all. I think that's and I think we're both seeing that part of the film from the same angle. That's how I feel, and I feel that it's for me, it was desperate.
Yeah.
If that makes, I know it sounds
Desperate
silly,
and lonely, and absolutely, it's
and there was the constant and the 80s reference to the music and so on and so forth. So obviously there's grief, there is fear of acceptance, there is loneliness, and there is just contemplating life. I think he overthinks everything.
There was a lot of life contemplation, and that description makes it sound like a really macabre, dark film. It's not. It's a really beautiful relationship between the three of them, and I really, really loved the relationship between Jamie Bell and Adam. The father and son relationship for me was stunning.
Yeah, the fairy in the tree, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, absolutely.
But I felt not only was he projecting how he would feel, how his parents would feel, but he was also internalizing how he feels about being homosexual as well.
Okay.
And I think that had a lot more layers within. I think the second or third watch that would be drawn out of watching that over and over again. I think so. We've got to the point where we've spoken about his parents a lot. We've spoken a little bit about Harry. And Harry is a very, very important character in this story.
Well, it's almost like his relationship with his parents kind of blossoming and reconnecting again enables him to forge a new relationship with a new person. It's almost like it kind of sets him free
100%.
a little bit.
Yeah. I think even communicating with another human being gives him that avenue to be able to start opening up to another human being, if that makes any sense. Now, although we've pointed out that it's a very watchable film, it doesn't, the way that we're describing it, I don't think we're making it sound very watchable. It's incredibly watchable, and it's an incredibly unique style of writing, filmmaking. I mean, it's beautifully shot. I mean, there's some fantastic shots from the apartment window, particularly some beautiful shots there, and I really felt it was a really brave way of making a film because nothing was given away. No. It wasn't. Nothing was spoon fed to you at all.
No, it felt like a very, very smart film.
Yeah.
The dialogues, the conversations were.
Yeah.
What you said about the fact that you don't kind of question the fact that the parents are the same age as the son just goes to show how well it's written.
Absolutely.
Because you do believe the conversations the whole way through. It is so well written. I loved it.
Good. Now, as the film goes on, I feel that it also has a undercurrent of darkness, just almost beyond his almost beyond his sadness, almost beyond his grief, and almost beyond his loneliness. There's an undercurrent of darkness all the way through. And there's a very specific time where he's in a nightclub and something happens. So somebody is there, somebody's not there, and then he starts coughing at one point. Okay, now I didn't say this before we started the podcast. I thought initially, okay, now this is not necessarily the case, so don't worry about it, I'm not spoiling the end. I thought initially that the fire alarm went off and the whole place burnt down.
Right. Okay.
You with me?
Yeah.
But it didn't. But we won't go into that.
Okay.
Yes.
So the cinematography in the nightclub I thought was brilliant
It was.
as well.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Okay. I always like to do a reference of other films that I think weirdly I think the Joker. There's a reference to the Joker. Not a reference to it directly, but there is a connection from the storyline and the storytelling to the last Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie.
Right, I don't get what you mean by that, but
The relationship he had with the lady across the hallway.
right, yeah, I know. Okay, I don't get that.
So he has a fictitious relationship with a lady across the hallway,
Yes.
and he's completely convinced that it's a completely real relationship right until the very end of the movie. And then he realises it's not real.
Okay.
You with me? Okay. No, you don't get it.
No, I'm not with you.
Okay, so his relationship with his parents is
Yeah.
obviously not real.
Okay.
But does that make sense?
Yes.
And obviously there's other things that go on, but we don't want to give you any spoilers by it at all. So I would say that, and also another film that I'd say would be Truly Madly Deeply with Alan Rickman.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Have you seen it?
I have. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and you can see the connection.
Yeah.
Okay, good, right.
I like that you dig deep and find these kind of connections and stuff.
Well, I just come. I don't even dig it. I'm walking down the street and they're going, of course,
Yeah.
Truly Madly Deeply. Of course, there's a.
There is another film from 1988 that it is connected to.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. So it's loosely adapted from the novel Strangers.
Yes.
And I apologise for this pronunciation, by Tachi Yamada.
Right.
A book which also inspired the 1988 film The Discarnates.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that one.
Oh, we found a film James hasn't seen.
Homework!
So there you go. It's pretty much connected to that film.
Okay.
So if you do a bit of research, it's basically it's based on the Japanese storytelling of ghosts. So
Yes.
it's basically the relationship between Adam and his parents in the original is based on the Japanese ghost theory, where ghosts aren't like something to be scared of; they're part of everything and
Part of
in
your life.
everything. And so that was the original concept.
Nice. Okay.
The director, Andrew Haigh,
Yes.
his childhood home actually served as the filming location for the house where Adam finds his
Oh,
parents.
seriously?
Yeah.
That's so
that's
cool,
really cool,
isn't it?
eh?
That's
That's
very
so,
cool.
I love that. And did you notice anything different about Jamie Bell?
Well, apart from the moustache.
Yeah.
He had a good moustache on him.
He did have a good moustache.
He was actually wearing...
He hasn't lost a leg, has he?
No, he was wearing brown contact lenses to closer resemble Andrew Scott's eye.
Okay. I thought the performances of everybody was outstanding. I think this is. I think I would consider this to be considered for next year's Oscars.
Did it not make the nominations for this year?
Too early, I think.
It's too early. I think it goes January to December, I believe.
Oh right, okay.
Have they just had the Oscars or have they just had the nominations? They've just announced
The
nominations.
Yeah, they
nominations
have.
have just been
But I
announced. last
believe
week, yeah.
that is for January to December.
Oh, okay,
So
fine.
that's...
I personally think it definitely deserves even an acknowledgement for that, because I'm not too sure whether it's Andrew Scott's first lead role.
So Andrew Scott was he played the priest in Fleabag.
He was a sexy priest in Fleabag.
Yeah, he was both Pauline and Poppy both said.
Yes,
He was Sea Inspector.
that's right.
And yeah, that's
And Moriarty in
that's-
Sherlock.
Yes, correct.
Played a fantastic. So he's always plays very quite intense, not very likable roles. Sometimes I find.
Yeah, so I think we've made this film sound a bit depressing and shit.
He's also been in his Dark Materials, which he's quite well known for.
right,
as well.
okay.
And also Black Mirror. He was in an episode of Black Mirror as well. No, I see where you're coming from, but I think we can't sugarcoat everything and just we can't spoon feed our listeners and our viewers all the time. But I think it is a dark film. It is about depression. It is about grief. It is about loneliness, and we can't be all chipper about when we're talking about that.
No, that's fair enough.
And
But I think it's fair to say it's a dialogue-driven film, which give us a night. What night is it?
Oh, it's a Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Thursday night, definitely.
You look disappointed, Peter.
Yeah, because I saw
It's not Saturday night.
I saw it really, really late on a Sunday night.
How was that? How was it?
Really late. I thought it was absolutely perfect for that time on a Sunday night. It's slow, it's meandering,
Yeah.
it's elegant,
Yeah.
it's beautiful, it's
like a really good book.
It's thought provoking. See, I thought you were going to start this. I thought you were going to start this review along the lines of how you have the last couple of weeks talking about the fact that this is a stage play, and I really felt this was a stage play on the
100%.
screen.
Yeah.
And it was just so cleverly put together, and
I
you
agree.
walked out, and I just thought that is okay. If it's gonna win an Oscar, it should be for Best Director. It was just so well
pacing was
directed.
perfect.
It has already had 15 wins and 88 nominations across all the different.
Oh wow, amazing!
No,
I think it's-
no Chainsaw Awards, unfortunately, James. Can we have our scores, please?
Yes.
You want me to go first? Okay, it's 7.9.
Ooh.
I'm giving it an 8.9.
Yeah, I thought after you came out, you were thought provoked about this film, and I thought you were going to go Billy Big Bollocks 9.5 with this.
I was thinking about it.
Because I just thought this was such a you movie.
Yeah.
And
Do you know how I'd make it better? I think it should be longer. I really felt that they could have easily given me more, because I enjoyed it so much. It almost felt too short.
It is only an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
maybe it's because I saw it so late on a Sunday night that
Yeah.
I thought the length of it was absolutely perfect.
I watched it on a Monday afternoon at 3:30, so I was
Yeah.
gagging for more.
Yeah, it's
Gagging for more.
it's
So what's the score in total then?
The combined score is 8.4,
yeah.
and the IMDb score is currently 8.1. So not too...
Oh yeah, no, that sounds it's-
Go and watch it though.
It
Honestly, go and watch it. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's-
It's beautiful.
Yeah. You don't cry. You just feel a bit. Oh.
Talking of beauty,
Yes.
should we move on to Peter's homework?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Peter McPeasy. So that's the cinema. Go and watch All of Us Strangers
Strangers.
at the cinema.
It could,
okay.
you could watch it at home.
You could do, but I think it'd be a really nice date night film.
Well, Valentine's Day is coming up.
I was the only single in the cinema.
You wouldn't be in for long if you asked.
So anyway,
there we go. Moving,
You know it.
moving swiftly on.
Would you like? So I give on a weekly basis. I give Peter McPete a piece of homework. Last week I gave him 2 pieces of homework. These are 2 of my most favourite films of all time. I've got both of them saved in on my hard drives at home. And whenever I can't find anything that I want to watch on TV or whatever, these are amongst the other films. These are 2 of the films I would go back and watch over and over again quite happily.
Both of these films
Yes.
are stock favourites for you.
Yes,
Yeah?
these are in my little next to Bullet Train.
Okay, so I
Would you like to tell the listeners and viewers what the 2 films were?
are we gonna? Should I tell both? Should we review both at the same time, or should
You-
we just do one at a time?
wherever your emotions take you.
Exactly.
Right. So I had a really busy week this week.
Yes.
So I managed to watch the whole of Triangle
Yes.
Yay.
in one go.
Yeah.
So
1990, isn't it? Mate?
2009.
2009.
Okay.
Yeah, and the only actor in it, which I think people would remember and recognise, is Melissa George.
That's correct.
She
yeah.
used to be in Neighbours.
Yeah. And it's funny because she was actually brought in to boost the ratings of the movie, but she's only in the movie for about 30 seconds.
There is also Liam Hemsworth in there.
There is, yeah, but he's
Everyone would
at the
recognise
tail end of
him.
the Hemsworths.
I watched this on Freevee.
Freevee.
which is kind of part of Prime, I think. So
It is,
I think
found
it is. Yes.
but it's with adverts in it.
Oh, I don't like that.
It's even worse because they're Australian adverts.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an
are they?
Australian movie.
It's an Australian movie. Well, it's an Australian produced movie.
Yes.
But it's supposed to be based off the coast of Miami.
Yeah.
So the triangle is supposed to have a tenuous suggestion towards the Bermuda Triangle. Okay, so how much do you think this cost to make?
Oh, peanuts. Absolute peanuts. It is, for me personally, it's one of these... It's kind of... It's not quite a guilty pleasure, but it's definitely one of these movies that you think to yourself, it's been produced in a certain way, it's got certain types of actors in it, but the storyline is so compelling and so really bizarrely watchable over and over again.
It cost
Yes.
$12 million to put together.
Did it?
It did.
Wow.
Which is not a lot of money.
It's not.
In the world of film. Do you know how much money this film took?
About 2.
Not even. $1.3 million. This has taken.
And
gross.
that's the reason why we've got the Popcorn Pundits, because when we find a movie that's not made any money, we need to champion it.
So we've saved everyone $11 million.
Yep. So this film,
Yes.
Melissa George, Jess, basically turns up on a pier and has been invited onto a friend's yacht, and it's basically a group of young, groovy people who go out on a yacht for a day out, and
It's a boat party, isn't it? They go around the coast.
and it's all
On a
going,
day out.
it's all going swimmingly well until the wind doesn't just drop, the wind vanishes,
Whoosh.
and this weird storm appears from out of
It's
nowhere.
like a silent, non-storm storm, isn't it? Because it doesn't do anything.
And it is the worst CGI storm I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
agree completely.
Absolutely shocking. Anyway, so this terrible storm comes through, and
Yes,
the boat
in more
is,
ways than one.
yeah, the yacht is capsized and torn apart.
Yes.
And they're turned upside down, and they're basically standing on the hull of the boat,
Yeah.
and they're just waiting to see if anyone's going to rescue them.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, this passenger boat,
Ferry.
cruise liner,
Yeah.
type of thing,
Yeah.
comes from the distance and rescues them. And
Well, they get on board, and they're not even invited on, are they? Because they think they see somebody,
yeah.
and they think, I've got to get on this boat because there's no...
No, that's they think they're rescued
Yeah.
because the boat comes alongside them.
Exactly.
And then they get on the boat,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, really quickly,
Yes.
the movie changes,
Yes.
and it becomes a classic horror movie.
It does.
Like, straight away.
Massively.
And at that moment, I thought, okay, I'm in the comfort of a James homework film at this point. And then about 3 or 4 minutes later, I thought, I haven't got a fucking clue what's going on.
I know.
It's gone really weird,
Yes.
and I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
And
See James's homework.
so, you should watch this film, and at this point, you shouldn't turn the film off.
No.
You have
Thank
to
you.
keep going with it,
Yes.
because it makes more and more sense the longer you get through the film.
Yes.
I'm going to quote "Eat, Sleep, Rave, Repeat" as a
Thank you.
song lyric that might give you a hint as to what this film does. It
Yes.
overlays and overlays and overlays, and
Yes.
it's not until you get to the latter overlays that you understand exactly where you're kind of coming from.
Yeah.
And so that's the film. It
I mean,
is-
don't you think don't you think that if it was made now and they threw like 20 million at it, it would be amazing?
It's the absolute opposite of Night Swim.
Yes.
So Night Swim was horrific because they had a concept and they turned it into a 2-hour movie.
Yep.
This is actually a really great plot line
Isn't
that
it?
they had no money
Yeah.
to put into it.
Exactly.
And they've turned it into... It's a real classic horror.
Isn't it?
But there's no budget behind it. So the sets
proper-
wobble.
Yeah.
It is terribly put together.
Yeah.
Their main star is like a bit part actor from Neighbours.
Ooh.
And yet somehow...
Or Home Away. Oh no, that's Liam's Home and Away.
God, it was actually really good.
Gripping, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really, really good. And I know now that horror is a favourite genre of yours.
Oh, yes.
And I thought this did it really, really well.
Thank you very much. And it was clever. The ending was fantastic. The ending was very dark, I felt.
Yeah, and we could reference Final Destination.
100%.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
it's that
yes.
type of story.
Thank you very much.
if
Yeah,
you-
exactly. Yeah,
Fuck it, you're not getting away with it.
exactly. Yeah, thank you very much. So, I'm really pleased you enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. And it's a short film. It's one of those films, you can understand why I've got it in my little back catalogue. You go, fancy a quick horror?
How many times have you watched it?
6.
That's probably 4 too many. If I'm totally honest with you.
I can't wait for the next 6 times.
But yeah, no, it's a really good film. And Melissa George does play the angst-ridden heroine.
Yes.
They've got to call her heroine.
It wasn't
Yeah.
originally going to be her.
Was it not?
No, there was rumours that an American actress was going to play her,
Okay.
called Lindsay Lohan.
Shut up.
Apparently, that's what the rumours were.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
No,
there we
Glad to see it
go.
would have been as
I
good.
don't think it would have changed the movie
No.
at all. To be honest with you, I think it
No.
was.
And it was-
So I really enjoyed it.
Good.
Nice.
I give it 6.9.
Okay,
Ooh.
good. I'm pleased with that.
How would I improve it? I would make it better.
Yeah, just make
And
throw more
that's-
money at it.
Can't be more honest than
No,
that.
because the story's there. It's a solid story. It's a solid idea.
It's actually 6.9 on IMDb as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. I think that's a really, really good score for it.
So that was your light. That was your light homework.
Yeah.
That was almost like a little sort of aperitif.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, that wasn't light. I mean,
No.
it is a. I mean,
It's dark shit.
There is a pile of the same body in one part of
yeah,
the film being
wasn't that
eaten
amazing?
by birds.
Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah,
that
that was-
scene. He looked at it and went,
That
"Oh."
was 11 of the 12 million. It was.
It was. And so clever the way, and it really, and that cemented how dark it was as well at that point. You think to yourself, "Oh, hang on a minute."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
good.
yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
Good.
Then I was requested to watch a film that I thought I'd seen, and you went, you would know if you'd seen this.
And was I right?
Yeah, I had not seen this.
Would you like to tell the punters what homework I gave you?
You gave me Bone Tomahawk.
Yes, starring.
Everyone in the entire world.
It's got a massive cast,
It's
isn't
an
it?
amazing
It's
cast.
an amazing cast. So
Yeah.
the main character is played by Kurt Russell.
Yes.
It has got Patrick Wilson, who is one of the main characters in Watchmen. It has Matthew Fox from Lost. It has Russell Jenkins, who is dad in Step Brothers and in The Shape of Water. It has Lily Simmons, who is in Banshee. It has David Arquette. The cast is
Gigantic.
and
But you can understand why it's not mainstream.
yes, and you're looking at all these actors and you're thinking,
Why is my dad watching this?
why don't I know about this? I just yeah. And anyway, so this was released in 2015.
Yes.
It's available on Prime.
It is.
You have to watch this film. It is.
Thank you.
It is.
It's a western.
It's.
I don't
not-
usually watch westerns. Well,
Yeah.
it is.
It
I
is.
mean,
It's
it's
a-
loosely a western.
It's described on IMDb as
Yeah.
Western
Don't watch it.
dot horror,
Yes.
and that is exactly what it is. So I'm going to use your favourite word and give the synopsis of this film.
Right.
So it's set in the turn of the century.
Yes.
I think it's in Texas or somewhere along those type of lines. It's a real kind of Western.
Kurt's got a fantastic beard as well.
He
hasn't
just looks
Doesn't
epic.
he?
So he is basically an aging sheriff
Yep.
in this really sleepy town, and there is an outlaw who is shown in the first scene of the film, basically robbing some people.
Yeah.
And then it kind of cuts to the town, and he's in the bar. And basically, after he's robbed these people, he tries to get away, and he kind of unknowingly unsettles this Native American graveyard.
Yes.
And so he then goes to this village and a town, and he gets into a fight. I actually can't remember what the fight's about.
Bit of a kerfuffle.
He ends up in prison, shot
Yep.
in the leg, and the town's doctor comes to help soothe his leg. But what he doesn't know is by disturbing the graveyard
Yeah.
in the wilderness, he's really pissed off. What did he describe them as? They're troglodytes.
That's right.
And basically it's a cannibalistic tribe of Native Americans who then come into the village.
Yes.
And they kidnap the gangster dude.
Yep. The poorly leg.
They kidnap the doctor lady who is like looking after his leg, and like one of the deputies.
That's right.
And then they're gone.
Yep.
And then everybody wakes up in the morning, and they then find out that these guys have been kidnapped, and they need to go and rescue them.
Yes.
So the doctor, who is played by Lily Simmons, her partner is a ranchman and has got a damaged leg. I'm not quite sure. Do we know why he's got a damaged leg?
I can't remember.
I don't think we do. Anyway, so he's basically got a big scar on his leg, and he's got a splint, and he can barely walk. He obviously wants to go and help rescue his wife.
Yep.
But then the sheriff and the deputy is a beautiful aging doofus of a man. I mean, like, he's basically absolutely in love with Kirk Russell.
He is.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
And it's really sweet. Honestly, it's very. And he basically anything he says is just gospel.
Okay, boss.
Yeah, exactly. So then they kind of go out into the wilderness.
That's right.
Which is a long way away and
That's right.
days away, and then they have to.
Bit rocky.
Yeah, and then they have to. They have an interaction with this cannibalistic tribe.
They do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which you have to watch.
You can't unsee it.
You can't. So basically, with my busy week,
Yes.
this film was segmented into 2 parts.
Oh, no.
So I watched the first 2/3, which is everything up until that point.
Yeah.
Then I stopped the movie,
And
and
then-
then last night.
And you let us know
You did.
that you only halfway through it.
Yep.
And James's wonderful wife said to you
Oh yes, it only gets better from here or something, didn't she?
something like that, or the second part's the best part, or
Yeah,
something.
absolutely. So anyway, I then decided to watch the last of it last night, so I could review it on the podcast today.
Yes.
And my kids were downstairs, and
I'm
they're
so
now,
sorry.
They are now fully aware of when I'm watching a movie and it's a James homework movie.
Don't come in.
Yeah.
So I
Don't
don't.
even be in the
I
house.
don't think Poppy's talking to you at the moment. Because, I mean, Poppy is into...
She's very wide-eyed about movies.
Yeah,
she's
into
very
Japanese
knowledgeable.
anime,
Absolutely.
She's like into ultra-violent.
That's right.
She's got no qualms.
No,
But holy fuckamole.
I found some things for you, haven't I?
Oh my god, there
Yeah.
is a cannibalistic scene in this film that I have never seen.
That's all I can say to you.
That I can't really say what it is.
No, you
can I?
can't.
I mean, the milder bits of this film are Kirk Russell being slashed in the stomach and having a burning hot hip flask shoved into the scar.
Oh yes, I forgot about that bit.
Your face, you look actually traumatised.
It's
Head over to
absolutely,
YouTube.
it's harrowing.
Yeah.
It is like the violence in this film is so violent,
It's very graphic,
and they so
and there's no anger on their behalf. It's not like we're gonna
they're just hunting.
exactly.
But the violence in this, it's not Tarantino violence.
No.
It is just pure, clean violence.
Yes.
If someone's losing a hand, it's
Yep.
just chopped off.
That's
There's
right.
no blood
It's
splat.
no
there's
dramatic about
nothing.
it. It's not
I mean,
dramatic.
they do use the phrase, "I better tie that off," quite a lot, which I thought was quite funny because
tie that off.
every time anything gets locked off, we better tie that off.
Tie that off.
But it's but yeah, so
Good. I'm so pleased you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well, enjoying is another
No,
word.
I really did enjoy it, but there are some parts of it which are actually, and Men
Yes.
was probably one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
This is much harder to watch than Men, and it kind of comes at the same point in
It
the
does.
film. It's the last 10 minutes where you're like, there is no way there's escape from this.
No.
And the thing that they do to that man,
I think it's worth watching it as a man.
I
That's all I've got to say to you. That's all I've got to say to you, the viewer.
This is actually the second David Arquette western involving cannibalism.
what was the first?
Ravenous.
Oh yes,
in
of course,
1999.
yes.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Well, anyway, so it's an absolute must see. It's an absolute must see because Kirk Russell is
He's amazing in it, isn't he?
he is so good.
He's on his
in
game
this.
on that one.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best films I've seen him in. He's absolutely amazing in it.
Good.
The cast is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
The story is decent.
Yes.
The,
It's not a triangle, is it?
no, it's not.
Or swim fan.
The conclusion is difficult to
Yeah.
watch, but absolutely epic. It's incredible.
Good.
So what's your score, Peter?
It's 7.5.
Oh,
It's a really
7.1 on IMDb.
Oh, I've beaten IMDb for a
And it was
change.
actually shot in 21 days.
Oh, seriously?
Apparently
Oh,
so.
wow, bloody hell. So that's like Killers
a
of
lot.
Killers of the Flower
Yes.
Moon. That was like done super quick as well, wasn't
And
it?
Napoleon.
Yeah.
So we
I'm
should
so
probably
pleased.
It was Napoleon.
close
not
it
Rock.
off because we're going to go over the hour.
Okay, really quickly then.
And
So,
our listeners will tell us off.
okay, so really quickly. Okay, really pleased. So pleased. Okay, so
Thank you for that.
honestly, and I've been holding back that movie. I had to hold back on that movie until he'd seen Men, until he'd seen some of the movie. Do you see what direction?
Yeah, I'm scared.
I couldn't give you that straight away. Couldn't give you that movie straight away. How do you pronounce that name there?
Naiad.
Naiad. Thank you very much. So I'm going to give you two films. Okay, one film is a film I'm recommending for everybody as a recommendation, and the other one is your homework. Okay, so Naiad is a PG-13 movie that's out now on Prime. Okay, brand new film. Jodie Foster and Annette Bening. Okay, now traditionally, when I sit down of an evening with my gorgeous co-host, my wife, at home, our normal go-to is go straight to the horror category and start seeing what horrors we hadn't seen. Okay, that night we went through and we thought we've seen them all, every good, bad, and ugly.
At least 6 times.
Exactly, and so we went on to some other categories and we went on to new releases and so on and so forth. And my wife said, "Do you know what? This looks really interesting. Let's try this." And I went, "Good." Made a cup of tea and we sat down and we watched it. I did not move from that seat from the entire. No wheeze or anything, okay? Seriously, okay? It's a true story. It's a true story about Diane Naiad. And she is she's an American swimmer. And she was really, and this is a true story, and she was really famous in the late 70s, early 80s for swimming incredible long distances, but she was also really famous for being, she didn't suffer fools gladly, okay? She would literally go onto the David Letterman show or something equivalent of that in the 80s, and it's, "Oh, great to see you," and she would turn around and say things like, "Well, I've been on the show 3 times, and it's the first time you've been here, where have you been?" type thing. She's very argumentative, very
Confrontation.
Thank you very much. A bit like Pete. Anyway, not like his mom though. Anyway, so
It's radical candour.
you get the flavour of her straight away. She doesn't take any rubbish.
Blunt.
She's very blunt. And it shows that there's some historical footage, which is obviously real footage of her with very short, spiky hair, doing these amazing swims, and it's all long distance. The longer the distance, the better. And so then she turns around to everybody and goes, "I want to conquer the Mount Everest of swims, which is a 110-mile journey from Cuba to Florida." Okay.
Wow.
Now, the 110 miles is not the issue because people have swam that distance before, but when she tried to do it in the late 70s, early 80s, and sadly she didn't make it.
Well, she died.
No, she was alive. However, fast forward to modern day, okay, and she's 60 years old at that point. She's 30 years later, okay, and she's going through a bit of a crisis at home. She's going through a crisis at work, and so on and so on. And she's not a swimmer anymore. She hasn't swum for months, or perhaps even years. And then somebody turns around to her and goes, "You do realise that you could never have done that swim because the doctors have said it's physically impossible for a human being to go through all those currents, go through all the different. It's the natural element of a human being cannot cut through that. And she went, "Oh." And next day she went down to the swimming pool, and she hadn't swam for years, and she did half an hour. Okay, and the next thing you did, she's speaking to her friend who's played by the fantastic Jodie Foster, and she's saying, last week I started with 20 minutes. I'm now up to 4 hours. Okay, and you realise that the swim that she wants to achieve, this Cuba swim, is I think between 4 and 6 days swimming. Not stopping. You legally you're not allowed to stop. You have to keep swimming.
She needs Professor Greg White.
She does exactly.
Or Dory.
Or Dory.
Just keep swimming.
So it's Yeah, so then you start on a journey. You literally start on this journey with her, trying to get the finances together to do the swim, and she's 60 years old at this point. Okay, and Annette Bening is absolutely incredible in this movie because you don't like her. She's not a nice person at all. And in fact, she's very argumentative. She's very confrontational, but she's so pig-headed that you literally go along for the ride with her. Okay, and her co-host, or her partner, their friend, is played by Jodie Foster, and the love between those two is so intense and so beautiful. And this journey goes on for 4 years, her attempting to do the swim over and over and over and over again. And I won't tell you what happened at the end, but all I can say is that you'll never look at jellyfish the same way ever again in your entire life. Okay. And I don't think you ever look at Jodie Foster or Annette Bening in the same way, because apparently Annette Bening learned how to swim, and even the Diane Nyad, she actually wrote the film, and she swam with Annette Bening during the making of the movie as well.
Cool.
Wow.
It is one of those movies where you get that Nicolas Cage high kick, Harris Foster, and you go, yeah, they've done it. You go, God, do it. and you do get that sort of feeling of sort of us against them, against the rest of the world. So, to me, it's a Thursday night movie. Although I did watch it on a Saturday night, it is a Thursday night movie. You could stretch it on a Saturday night if you've got nothing else to watch. It's a beautiful, beautiful journey. That's all I've got to say to you. So I would recommend you, as viewers and listeners, to watch it. That's their homework.
Okay, fantastic.
So what's Peter's? We are running out of time, boys.
That's the viewer's homework.
That's the viewers' homework. Your homework.
Okay, thank God, because I've seen that.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Have you seen? Please tell me you haven't seen Empire of Light.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, thank God. Right.
I was really hoping to piss on his parade.
I know.
I didn't realise that was the listeners.
Really quickly, set in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Olivia Colman and the rest of the team were nominated for Oscars in this. So it's Olivia Colman, Colin Firth, and it's directed by Sam Mendes. It's called Empire of the Light. It starts off light and airy, and it goes in a slightly different direction, and it's compelling and it's beautiful, and and all of their performances just wrenches your heart out. It's absolutely beautiful. It is a Sunday afternoon movie.
Okay.
There you go. Empire of the Light is Peter's homework.
Okay, and then what are you both watching for next week in the cinema?
Well, we've got Mean Girls, and we've also got
The Holdovers.
Holdovers as well. Fingers crossed if that's at the Odeon next week.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
And don't forget people can follow us on YouTube and on Instagram.
And message us on Instagram and do all that. And absolutely.
And if you've got any film recommendations you'd like us to see, or perhaps you might find a film that I haven't seen, that could be a new game.
Yeah.
Let us know via Instagram on our messages. DM us.
Slide in.
Yeah, slide in my DMs, baby.
To the Popcorn Pundits.
Would you like to pop us out?
I think James should do it again.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I don't, actually, because it was terrible.
Actually, yeah, good point. Go on, Peter.
Popcorn Pundits.
Podcast.
The end.
Week 14.